All right, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, Alahayanawa, Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakudash. All right, Shalom wa Barakim, La Bakarim Shah Yasha Allah, Washani Kabad, which means double honors. La Zakunim Nawar, Wahashala Yakim Nawar, to our elders and apostles, Shah Yasha Allah of Israel, Ba'aith of Israel in these times. All right, giving all praise to the Most High Yahweh. All right, that's the Heavenly Father's name, in the name of Yahweh Shai. All right, and peace and blessings be upon the elected Israel. This is what I said in the Hebrew, in a double honors. This is what I said in the Hebrew. All right, a double honors to our elders and apostles in these times, known as Great Millstone. All right, so I want to do this video, which was inspired by a few different brothers, you know what I'm saying, through the Spirit, and something that I had seen on YouTube that I really didn't like. All right, and I will put it out there just because, you know, through the Spirit. Basically, the title is Raashyam, know the state of thy flocks, and really set an example. I should have put that on the end too. Set an example. Raashyam Raashyam means heads. All right, which is the leaders. This video is more so for the Akim that are in my position. All right, you may be a head of a camp, you may be second, third, fourth, or fifth in command of a camp. All right, you need to know the state of thy flock. All right, and it's pursuant to a particular scripture. And I got some precepts lined up. Alahaya now Ratazar, which our power willing, Abaratazar can get through these precepts through the Spirit. All right, because this is important. All right, and let me just put it out there. Let me just start off with this, man. Let me just say this. All right, there was a video. I think it was by Men of Valor 12, the Ephraimite brother out there. I think his name is Gabar. He had put up a video of what you call, this thing was called Publicans and Sinners or something like that. And I'm looking at the video like, you know, there's no edification. You know, why is this video up? Really, brother, you know, if you come across this video, that really shouldn't have been put out there through the Spirit, man. You know, as somebody who's been in the truth, you know, and had some type of tenure, you know, these type of things don't need to be put out there through the Spirit, you know. So, because when you watch the video, you see I believe he's a Parian, which is Ephraim in the Spirit. He was out there, looked like a Puerto Rican Day Parade, you know, and wasn't bringing out precepts, you know, dapping up, which would have been possible, you know, 2/3 most likely. You know, this is the type of stuff, you know, that's not setting the example and taking care of the flock, you know, because you have younger brothers, you have younger Akim that are going to see videos like that and say, you know what, I can do the same thing. You know, I can hang out, you know, wherever I want to with publicans and sinners because Yahweh Shah did it. You got to remember, there's different levels that brothers are in on this truth. And all brothers aren't ready for everything through the Spirit, man. And shalom to the elect out there tuning into on the comment board. You know, everything is not for every brother, all right? Not every brother is going to eat the same meal. So as an example, you're just an example, all right, through the Spirit, you know, all right? And I have to bring it out, you know, through the Spirit. That video that you put up, Men of Valor, hanging out publicans and sinners, that's not edifying. You know, there's nothing in that video that suggests salvation. Okay, it's an example of you hanging out with publicans and sinners like Yahweh Shah did, but guess what? That example is already in the scriptures. All right, and we are nowhere near Yahweh Shah's level, all right, to be doing stuff like that. All right, so now let me just get into the precepts, and you're going to hear me reference this video because it's a good example, all right, amongst other examples that I know of through the Spirit that I'll bring out. But so I got these precepts that I like to bring out because that's what it's really about. Because that's another thing. Knowing the state of thy flock is what? Is also building up the brothers that are under us, all right? Brothers, there's certain things that brothers go through or are going through that they don't understand that we understand now, all right? And we have to break these things down to brothers as best as we can, especially if brothers, the Akim, the Ayalam Akim, which means young brothers, that there's certain things that they're going through. If we can relate to it, we got to break it down to them like, hey, we've been there, done that. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do, all right? This is Proverbs or Mashalia in the Hebrew, which means like a similitude or to the liking of. All right, this is Mashalia or Proverbs 27, and 23. This is where the precept where I got the inspiration from this video. It says, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds." All right. So that's why the importance of reporting is very important. You know, you check in with your officers, you ask your officers, the younger brothers who may be oversights of other younger brothers, you say, what's going on? So how the Akim doing? You know, who's lagging? You know, what's going on? You know, you let the officers know. If you need something, go up through the proper chain of command, or just hit us up to let us know if you need guidance, you know, because those younger officers are Shariam, which means officers or judges. All right, they also need to know the state of the flock. All right, they also need to be diligent, as we need to be diligent. Now, I'm saying this not only for myself, all right, but for you rest of you Raashyam out there, you heads, all right, you judges, because the words I'm speaking right now are the words of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, which I also received from our elders and apostles. All right, and it's not like I received it once, all right, and then I got it. You know, it's something that the elders and apostles are constantly saying. All right, in so many words. You know, you talk to them, they want to know what's going on with the camp. You know what I mean? All right, who's doing this, who's doing that? You know, how are brothers doing? Knowing the state of the flock. All right, that's why we give a double honors to our elders and apostles, because they definitely diligently know the state of the flock. All right, and it's a part of the work. It's something you can't shy away from. You can't shy away from the responsibilities and the accountability of being a head. All right, I'm talking number one on down to number 5 in the camp. All right, so now I want to get some examples, all right, of how you will know the state of your flock, all right, of characteristics that we should have, all right. And I pray and I know that this is edifying, because these are precepts that run through my mind when I feel like, damn, I don't know what the hell is going on, or I'm doing something that might not guide the flock aright, all right. So let me get Sirach, and a lot of these are going to come out of the book of Sirach, because or Ecclesiasticus. This is a really character building book, all right. It defines the characters of all men, wicked and evil, all right. So this is Ecclesiasticus of the book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 12. All right, this is how you set an example of knowing the state of thy flock and guiding the flock aright. 31 and 12 of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. It says, "If thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it." Salakia. "If thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it." All right. So me myself, I know I try to do this to the best of my ability, but I've seen mishaps in the spirit of men who've been in the camp, all right, and as well as other camps that I've heard about, you know, where you're sitting down for a feast, all right, and the head of the camp is you know, he's getting 4, 5 plates, all right, not just, I'm saying the heads, I'll say the heads of the camp are getting 4 or 5 plates before any other brother gets it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So there's a role of humility. All right. The character of humility has to be within you. All right. If you having a feast, it's not wise. You get your 1 plate and be content therewith. All right. Other brothers, because it's a trickle effect. What you do, other brothers are going to follow suit. And it's not just the with that feast. It's anything that we do. You know what I'm saying? When we at camp, you speaking, all right, you speak, of course, with confidence, but there's a certain dignity and humility that you carry about yourself when you speak. All right, and in the tone that you use, is the way that you conduct with each other during feasts, which out on the highways and byways, that is a feast technically. All right, so this is another example. Sirach 31 and 12. "Thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much on it." All right, and we used to have a guy in the camp. All right, I'm not gonna say his name. He's no longer in the camp. If you're spiritual, then you know who I'm talking about. This guy, he used to pile his plate. He used to pile his plate this high, all right, 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? There were times when certain brothers didn't get any part of the meal, all right? And now when you think about that, you think about that in a spiritual aspect, all right? Of course, it's physical, but let's think about it in a spiritual aspect, all right? It's not wise to be super greedy in front of brothers, because now you got younger brothers looking at you like, okay, That's how it's supposed to be conducted. That's the behavior. The scripture says, ooh, that's the spirit. Let me get this one. It wasn't on the list, but I gotta get it. All right, because that's why, you know, that brother Yatazak out in Dallas, he got a beautiful page name, which is Hagnos Anastrophe, which means this precept here, Second Peter's 3 and shoot. Oh, I'm in First Peter's. Salakia. Let me go to Second Shemai 1. All right, which Peter's name is Shemai 1 in the Hebrew, because he is a Hebrew Israelite, and he set the greatest example. All right, because because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end with Shemai 1. This is Second Peter 3 and 3:11. All right, it says, "Seeing then," all right, and we should know this as Raashyam, all right, as the heads. It says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved," we know exactly what that's talking about, all right? "Seeing that all these things should be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" That's that Hagnos Anastrophe, which means the pure behavior. It's about how we conduct, all right? You know good and well, and I know good and well too, is certain things that we do that after we do it, we like, shit, man. Brothers is watching. I know I shouldn't have did that shit. You know, I could have went about that a different way. That's what I'm talking about, man. Know the state of thy flock. You know, all the things that are coming to pass, all the evil that's coming, all right, we should know how we should be conducting ourselves in all holy conversation, meaning our behavior, all right? So back in Ecclesiasticus 31:12, "Thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much to eat," all right? Because we need to be setting the example. All right, now let me get Sirach. I'm still in Sirach here. Character building book. All right, this character definitely counts. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 in verse 18. All right, and this is the backbone of everything that I do. You know, this is one of my bread and butters. I may not bring it out a lot, but I think about it a lot through the spirit, which all the Raashyam out there, you should be thinking about too. Ecclesiasticus 3:18, it says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. All right, so if we want to have favor, be pardoned, or receive that salak, all right, you know, brothers say salakia, which means forgive me. If we want to receive that salak, that means that we need to be more humble. All right, we need to be more aware. We need to be more circumspect of our actions, man. On some real, man, because we coming in times where us as heads, what we do can get the whole flock messed up. A brother sent me the quote the other day. I think it said one sheep, or one lion that's really wise, all right, that leads a sheep of 1,000 can defeat one sheep that's no, I'm sorry, no, let me say this again. Okay, let me say this again. Salakia. One sheep that has 1,000 lions as warriors and is wise can defeat an army of Salakia. One lion that's wise that has a sheep of 1,000 can defeat an army of one sheep that has 1,000 lions, and that sheep is unwise. Basically, if you're wise, all right, and the men under you, all right, and you go into battle against someone else that seems like they're stronger but they're unwise, you can beat that person. Why? Because you are leading the flock right. You know the state of your flock. You're being wise. You're watching your actions. They're following suit of what you're doing. All right. And that sheep, all right, or that sheep with all those lions is Esau, man, because he's a sheep, all right, and he's really a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. So this is Ecclesiasticus 3:18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. And I pray through the Spirit that that made sense. You know, it's a good analogy that brother sent me. All right, and that's what we do need to be more humble. You got a lot of guys, and that's one thing I bang on too, man. Every time, of course, the action goes out. Of course, I have faith, but I always think to myself, all right, damn, was I being a tyrant? You know, because you never want to be a tyrant through the Spirit, because tyrants, they're reactionaries. They just do shit. Us as Raashyam, I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, really, any brother out there that has brothers under them, this video is for you. Okay. All right, you need to think about the things that you do. Think of your course of actions before you react in the spirit. Being a reactionary, meaning you just react off of emotions and not no rationale, you're not being spiritual. That's being carnal. All right. Now let me get my next precept as an example. I don't want this to run too long, but the spirit, I was thinking about this through the spirit a lot on my way home from the Shaddai. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 33 and 29. It says, "Be not excessive toward any, without discretion do nothing." So that basically means not all things are for all brothers. Because a brother doesn't necessarily have to say, "Hey, look, this is between me and you," in order for you not to say to somebody else. You have to have the spiritual discernment in your mind to say, you know what? What I know or what was told unto me, a brother that he's not going to be able to receive this. Let me not spill out everything to this brother. All right. Because they might not be able to receive it, because it might not necessarily be honey. It might not necessarily be milk unto that Ayalam Akim, that younger brother, or the younger brothers. Everything doesn't always have to be said. All right. That's why the scripture says this, Ecclesiasticus 33. And let me say this, if and when, all right, something is said, all right, and nothing else is said after that, and brothers still have a bunch of questions, all right, and keep saying stuff and want to respond, you need to check that, brother. All right. Sometimes when orders go out, or things go out, or certain affirmations or declarations are made through the spirit, and someone's bucking up, all right, and nothing else needs to be said, you need to check that man. All right. You need to check that man, because now if you don't, now he thinks he's on your level, and now he thinks that he can do whatever the hell he wants. That's not how this truth works. All right. Not once ever, me, myself, I can say ever, have I came when the elders told me to do something, I say, well, why the hell do I need to do that? Or I got an excuse. No, it ain't no fucking excuses, man. What says goes. And the ancient, see, this is what I think. In the ancient times, your head gets chopped off. You get punished. All right. We in the midst of a battle. Ain't no time for questions or excuses for shit. All right. Cut that shit out. All right. This is and you have to be discreet. It says without discretion do nothing. Sometimes you have to be crafty. All right. And the elders and apostles, are perfect examples of being crafty. All right. All right. I'm telling you. All right. This is Proverbs 2 and 11. It says, "Discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee." So we, as heads of Raashyam, we should be praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which I've been saying this. The spirit got me saying this in a lot of my recent videos. Whenever I pray, and you brothers should pray, you heads or whoever's men under you, when you pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that he gives you the strength in the right spirit to guide the flock aright. All right, that we guide the flock aright through the spirit. I may do a prayer on that after this. All right. So discretion shall preserve us. All right, and understanding shall definitely guide us. Now let me get Sirach, back in Sirach, the 33rd chapter, in the 27th verse. All right. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 33 and 27. It says, "Send him to the labor, that he be not idle. For idleness, slacking. For idleness teacheth much evil." All right. So what I want to speak a few words on this, because some brothers, they may not necessarily know what their gift is. They may not know what they need to do in this truth, but they're sincere. They know the precepts. They got the understanding. If you have any inclination in the spirit of what the brother's gift is, tell the brother to get to it. Even if it may not be his gift, tell him to get to it. All right. Because it says, "For idleness teacheth much evil." If you have if one of your sheep or your flock is being idle, you see him not doing a whole lot, not making videos, kind of being repetitive, got his hands in the pocket at the camp, you got to look at this brother and say, well, what the hell is going on? He's kind of idle. You don't want wickedness to breed. You ask Akim, ask the brother that's over him, hey, how's this brother's spirit? What's this brother into through the spirit? Then what you do is, when you find out, you tell that brother, get to it. You may have a brother that's good at making signs. You tell him, hey, start thinking of new signs to make. You got brothers that's coming up. There's brothers in this camp coming up in the Hebrew. I be telling brothers, you need to do this, do that. I put an order out in my camp, just my camp specifically in this jurisdiction. Every video that a brother does, you have to bring out at least one Hebrew word. All right. Because one way or another, that's going to show who's good at something as well. You know, you just do a test run, just like Gideon. All right. He wanted all those men to deliver us from the Midianites, Yasharallah from the Midianites. All right. But the Lord said, you got to try the men first. Be not excessive towards many. Put the men through a trial. If they're idle, put them to this trial. See who's good at what. All right. So again, it says, send him to the labor that be not idle, that he be not idle, for idleness teaches much evil. All right. So that's another characteristics of how our Raashyam, how we're supposed to know the state of our flock. Once you find out and you have the inclination of knowing the real state of your flock, make sure each sheep is doing what they have to do. All right. So they're not breeding wickedness. All right. Matthew 23 and 23. We'll just get what Yahushua said, because it's always important. I always try to get Yahushua as an example, because he sets the tone for our ministry. All right, starting with his name, you know, just off of the strength of his name sets the tone. All right, for us, for Raashyam. All right, this is Matthew. Slakia. This is Matthew 23 and 23. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. All right, so they were hypocrites because they were omitting the weightier things. It says judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So us as heads, we have to constantly, in all our actions and our judgments and our discernments that we put forth, we have to put into the balance judgment, mercy, and faith. When we do that, it's a trickle effect. If you omit these things, the flock that's underneath us, they're going to omit the judgment, the mercy. They're going to treat one younger brother is going to treat another younger brother without mercy. He's going to be quick to judgment. All right. His belief may diminish. All right. So our belief has to be on 100. The confidence in what we're doing is correct. Confidence in our prayer and our discernment. All right. And our characteristics that Yahweh Shema Shah wants us to do. Don't omit these things, man. Remember judgment. All right. And judgment comes with seeking counsel. All right. Me as a head, I definitely seek counsel on certain things that I may not have encountered. Certain things we go through as heads, and you deal with knucklehead jakes, you know how to deal with it. But certain things pop up, you're like, wait a second. Maybe I need to call another Ra'ash, another Zaquan, another head or an elder to see if maybe he went through it. All right. So that way I can exact the right mercy or the right judgment, or build up the right brothers, build up the faith for a brother the right way. You all right? Because you never know what experiences certain brothers go through. That's why another reason we need to know the state of thy flocks. Certain brothers' faith is on different levels. You got to deal with different brothers different ways. All right. You got to remember this. And everything doesn't have to be put out there. Like I said, the guy Men of Valor, that video you did, Men of Valor 12, hanging out with publicans and sinners, that wasn't a good move. That wasn't a good move. Now you got a lot of brothers out there. There's a lot of guys tune into your videos. Now you have a lot of guys thinking they can go out to these parades, you know, and do this and that. There's certain things that we do in the world, all right, that doesn't need to be put out on YouTube. If it doesn't edify, what the fuck are you putting it up for? Yahweh forbid one of the younger brothers go out and start doing the things that you're doing, and then he gets jacked up. Maybe he gets locked up or shot, or the worst happens to him. We don't want that through the spirit, man. We don't want that through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. We don't want none of the flock to go off, man. I'm serious. Every brother that's in my camp, all right, and all the brothers that I know in all the other camps, all right, I want to see those brothers on the chariot with me, man. So in order for that to happen, we need to know the state of the flock, man. Do you have the fear of Yahweh Shema? That's another thing you need to remember when you wake up in the morning. How great is my fear of Yahweh Shema Shah? Because that's going to determine how diligent you are to knowing the state of thy flock. All right. Now I'm going to end with Peter's. All right. I'm going to lock Dawadah in the reincarnation. All right. The apostle Hashalayak Shemaiwan, the apostle Peter. All right. The apostle Simon. All right. 1 Peter 5. I'm going to start at the top. All right. And again, Raashyam, know the state of your flock. You heads, know the state of your flock. All right. And I'm saying this for myself. This is something I always think to myself, man. You know, This has been told to me directly from the elders and apostles, year after year. 1 year doesn't go by where I don't talk to the elder and apostle that I may be in contact with, which is none of your business, through the Spirit. Just know that we're in contact, and these things that we're saying is coming from the men that rule well and that we give double honors unto. All right, straight up and down. I'm telling you, because if what I was saying wasn't right, everything would come to naught. All right. Now, First Peter's chapter 5. All right, First Peter 5 and verse 1, and I'm gonna read to verse 4 through the Spirit, and through the Spirit that'll be thamam, that'll be complete or through. First Peter 5 and verse 1, it says, the elders which are among you, I exhort. All right, so you Raashyam, you Zaquanium, I exhort you. All right, through the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right, speaking through the Apostle Peter, who am also an elder and witness of the sufferings of Yahushua. All right, through the Spirit, you got brothers calling us younger elders or Zaquanium. All right, that's not no light thing, man. When I first came to the truth, I said I didn't want to be here. I did not want to be here long enough I didn't want to be here long enough to be called no elder. You know what I'm saying? Through the Spirit. But now that it's going on, there's a certain measure that needs to be met now. All right. This ain't no light thing. We talking about life and death, not our lives, the lives of the men we have blood on our hands. All right. Do we get that? We have blood on our hands. Okay. It says, in the witness of the sufferings of Yahushua, which I am a witness, all right? I witnessed the other day and today. Every day we witness the sufferings, all right? And also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed out of one rock Zat, the Wadi Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash. Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, which we're doing, all right? Feed the flock every week. All right, we supposed to be building up brothers. A week shouldn't go by and you don't know the state of thy flock or what's going on. All right, it says taking, no matter what on what level it is, through the Spirit. All right, it says taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint. All right, you shouldn't feel obligated to know about the men that are under you. If you do, you ain't fucking right, man. You ain't fucking right. And I pray how Bashim Shai gets rid of you. This is to the 2/3 niggas out there that's in disguise, man, that are in these leadership roles. All right. The Lord's going to deal with your ass. All right. It says, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage. And that comes when it says not being lords, it means what? Back to that scripture in Sirach. The greater thou art, the more humble you shall be. All right. Brothers shouldn't be walking around calling you Adawan, all right, which only means master. But through the Spirit, if a brother says that, a spiritual man is going to say, hey, fall back, That's okay, if it's joking and play, that's cool. If a brother keeps saying it, it's like, yo, chill out, all right? These are the type of things that we need to check through the Spirit, all right? It says, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock, all right? Being examples to the flock of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right, we have to set examples. There's certain things that me as a head, the younger brothers, they'll never know. Some of the things that me and the older brothers do. Why? Because when those brothers, if they see that, they think that they can do it. All right, and then they may go too far with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not right. That's not right at all. Okay, just like us, certain heads of the camp. There's certain things that the elders and apostles do, all right, that we don't know about. And quite frankly, I don't care because they pushing forth the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua on a high frequency. What they doing is right. I don't need to know what they're doing in their personal lives and stuff like that. It's not important. All right. It says, verse 4, it says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, that's Yahushua, all right, he's the chief shepherd. When the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. All right, Raashyam, all right, in Zaquanium. When Yahushua shows up, if we keep these characteristics that I brought out in these videos, and you know the state of your flock, we're going to appear unto salvation. All right, we're going to be revealed as the real men of the Lord. And I pray how Ba'ashem Yahushua were of that number, man. All right. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elders, the Zaquanium. Ye, all of you, be subject one to another. That's why I said this video is also For the young officers, you may have a brother that come into the camp 3 or 4 years ago, but he got 5 or 6 Akim under him. To those brothers, you're an elder to those brothers, all right, through the Spirit. You're over them, all right? So this is for you. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves to the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another. So the brothers are subject to one another, all right? It says, and just like I'm number 1, the brother Kasap's number 2, I'm subject to that brother. You know what I'm saying? I serve that brother sometimes, man. I make sure that I bring myself humble. It's all within understanding. All right. It's all with understanding. All right. Don't take this out of context. All right. We are ministers to one another, man. If the brother needs something, I'm going to drop everything and make sure I do what I got to do to do it for that brother, especially if younger brothers is watching, so they know how to conduct and do what the hell they're supposed to do, man. All right. And another thing, the brothers that you see coming up in the Spirit, give the brothers rank, man, so they can realize that they have a responsibility and accountability, man, on them. All right. It says, and be clothed with humility. And be clothed with humility. Humility is anaya in the Spirit. Anaya. All right. Be clothed with that. For the Most High resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. And that's the Spirit, man. We want grace from Yahweh by Hashem Hawashad. All right. In order to receive that grace, we have to apply the characteristics that I've outlined in these precepts. So throughout all the scripture, and there's many fold precepts through the Spirit. All right. But if we do these things, we're going to receive salvation. And the men under us receive salvation. The scripture said, hold fast to the doctrine which thou hast learned to teach others, that you may save yourself and the one that hear us. All right. So Raashyam, know the state of thy flock. You heads, you 1, 2, 3 in command, you younger officers that got brothers unto you. I pray that this is edifying. Fall in through the Spirit, man. A spiritual system is in place. Just follow the process, follow protocol, and we're gonna be all right, man, through the Spirit. All right, we're gonna be safe. Anak Noah Batak. We're safe, all right, through the Spirit. So call halal Yahweh by Shema Rashad, the water Yahweh by Shema Rashad, for allowing me to go through these precepts and bringing out this truth to the elect out there. Shalom wa barakim, labakar shayasha Allah, washamarkum, bless and keep you on the Spirit. To my elders and apostles that rule well and that are constantly watching the flock, are constantly putting up videos and guiding us aright. All right. Double honors unto you all. Ashanya kabah to you all, to the Akim tuning in. Yahweh Bashim al Shabrakatham, Washamarkum Bashim Kakadash. All right. Shalom. Shalom.